So I saw this weeks ago and I thought, maybe it's not my thing. It's not for me. I'm not a theatre goer. Came into the feed yesterday and last minute decision, 4:30. I saw that there was 2 cheap stall tickets. So I thought, why not? Let's have a go. 4:30, bundled into the car. Sandwiches, picked the partner up, bundled her in the car, just about made it down, all the way down to Plymouth on time. So let's see what happened. The cafe looks packed. And there's some mods, not many, but some. So these are some of the bikes outside the Quadrophenia Ballet. Guys, I see some mods here.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
What's your expectations this evening?
Well, we're not going to it.
You're not going to it? Right, good on you. I feel silly now for buying a ticket.
Not tonight anyway, but we come down because this chap here sent a message out to the club to get some Lambrettas down here.
Right, so you could film them, right. Well, I'll tell you what it's like then when I come out then,
Yeah.
Okay, well done, lads. Thank you very much. No need to step back, sir. Well, I've got somebody going in with me tonight, so what's your expectation, sir, of the Quadrophenia Ballet?
Great one, Jules.
I've seen the film.
Yeah.
I've seen the stage show.
Yeah, you got the LP, you got the album?
I've got the album.
He's got the album.
This is my first time actually seeing a ballet.
Yeah.
So
me too. I haven't been to the theatre in decades, so
yeah, I'm sort of like a bit.
Maybe not your kind of thing, but maybe hoping to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
Very.
Okay, thank you very much and have a good time. So we just about got in there. We're in the back of the stalls. I noticed a guy behind me. Thought I recognised him. He's got a Who t-shirt on. He's made an effort. So I thought I'd ask him what he thought. Okay, so Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard, we're in, and I'm here with another channel.
Yes, Matthew North Music, also based here in Plymouth.
Massive Who fan?
Yes, indeed, yeah. I think I've probably seen them about 25 times. I know that's not a lot compared to some, but...
I've seen them once.
But I do love them. They are the best live rock band I've ever seen, and they are the best live rock band you'll ever see.
Best rock and roll band in the entire world, let's face it. Let's not hold back.
Yeah.
So
as far as live performance is concerned, no question.
So what are your expectations for this evening?
Well, I didn't see any of the orchestral quad shows that they did a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I went to a premiere in London, it must be about 2012, when Rachel and Pete did 2 numbers from quad.
Yeah.
And Pete was playing with Jeff Beck, and they were really standout.
Yeah. Well, it's got to get up. Yeah, we'll carry on.
And so if the music is going to be anything like those orchestral performances, then I think it's going to be great. As for the performance on stage, well, I've never been to a ballet, so I've absolutely no idea.
I've been to theatre for decades. So.
I mean, I was here for the opening night of the Quadrophenia musical that they did in 2009, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I've always found with Quadrophenia that I think more about the album than just the mod aspect.
Yeah.
And I think the musical was very much like the film based on the mod aspect. Whereas, there's also that parallel storyline about the 4 different members of the band and stuff that I always get from the album that I never really got from the film and the musical stuff.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you very much. I'll check with you afterwards and see what your expectations are, if they've been met. So shout out your channel again.
Yeah, Matthew North Music.
Matthew North Music. I'll put a link in the description. Right, over for now. There's no phones going around there, so enjoy the show. So obviously not allowed to film, but I did buy a programme, and so we're then into Act 1. Here's a bit from one of the promotional clips. So there was actually a technical hitch just before the last few sections. We had a sort of mini interval, and then we had those and had the interval. I got talking to a chap called Jeff, so I thought I'd ask what his sort of halfway impressions were. So we're halfway through at the intermissions. So I've got Jeff as well here. So Jeff, you're a piano player, you're a keen theatre goer.
very keen.
He comes to everything, he says to me. So, Jeff, what's your take on it halfway through?
I think it's been very well staged. The lighting as well has been really well done.
A couple of surprises in there, people disappearing. Don't give too much away, but
yes.
But you've seen a lot of theatre,
I have,
so you would know what you're talking about with the staging.
Yeah.
And
I particularly liked the army scene. I think that was very well done.
yeah, so we've got an army scene. So the way I'm looking at it, it's like an interpretation. I expected something different, but this is like another dimension. So we're getting a bit. I don't know if you're familiar with Quadrophenia.
And not as well as yourself.
Right. So
I know it's a very dark.
We've got a bit. We've got like Jimmy's father. So a bit of him in the war scene. Not to give too much away, but it's always like pre-Quadrophenia. So, but it's kind of like showing the post-war influences that led into the album, in my humble opinion. But you like that scene?
I did,
yeah. Very good. So, what would you say if I said, well, my favourite is the album. I think it's the best album of all time. The film, I struggled a long time with it. But this is like something else for me. So I thought I expected a reimagined interpretation, but I didn't expect the other dimensions to it.
I think with dance, it always brings a different dimension and different feel.
So they have to do different things,
exactly,
and they have to explore things. But it's also a kind of glimpse into the creative mind of Pete Townshend, dare I say? I can sort of see his fingers all over it, which obviously they are, but he's had quite a hand in this. And
I agree with others here. I think he actually has been playing some of the guitar in this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. This is half time. My expectations are halfway met so far, pleasantly. So thank you very much.
No worries.
So my partner then went to get a coffee in the intermission, and something quite strange happened next. And I think my expectations have been met already. You can see a lot of the creativity. I can almost feel Townshend's hand on his guitar. I'm really pleasantly surprised. I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
And you've enjoyed hearing the music now?
It's a big surprise, but I'm really enjoying that, and I'm very enjoying myself this evening. So yeah.
And I suppose final question.
I would say give it a go. Suck it and see something. I would say that. There were a few parkers outside. I took a few photos. I wasn't expecting a load of fans, but I would encourage friends. Come with an open mind, and I think you're going to see something different and something Pete's a lot of work in. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. So here I've just been interviewed for, what is it?
So this is for Sadler Wells.
Sadler's Wells.
Yeah, for the Quadrophenia promotions.
Quadrophenia promotions. Come on, Who fans, let's come and see it. So then we had the second half, Act 2. I don't have any footage of that, so here's a few photos, and there's standing ovation at the end. So we came to the end, standing ovation. Pete Townshend was actually there. Pete, if you're listening, I did shout out, "Well done, Pete." So if you heard that, that was me. So then I did catch up with Matthew, get his final thoughts. And also then I hung around to see if I could get a word with Pete. So I've caught up with Matthew afterwards. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
How was it for you, Matthew?
I thought it was excellent, I thought it was a really good interpretation. And I think in a nutshell, to me, that was a much closer representation of how I felt the album was than either the film or the musical.
I have to say, I agree with you there. I think we went into other dimensions. He's
If you remember flicking through the book of the album and all the different pictures, that felt to me like that was the template they were using for the.
Well, I've actually got a copy in my car just in case. Yeah. So do you think we're going to meet Mr. Townshend?
Well, he's here.
He's here. Yeah, he's here. So
I think he's probably backstage. I don't think he'll want him to.
You've met him before, so
Yeah, I met him 16 years ago now.
right, but you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I have to say, my expectations, I wasn't expecting too much, but I really enjoyed it, and I had a quite good time. So, anyway, it was lovely to meet you. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay, so what were my impressions of it? What did I make of it? I got to be honest, I went with quite low expectations, but as such quite an open mind. So I thought, I'm open to enjoying this, so I'll sit there and be impressed. I was very intrigued about what it was all going to be about. Yes, you're in for an interpretation, but there were other dimensions to this, and the dance really did open up those other dimensions and the choreography and what have you. Okay, so I'll start by I'll just read a bit from the programme and a paragraph from Pete's page. So it says, I hope you can agree that you enjoy the ballet and the orchestral music arranged so brilliantly by my genius wife Rachel, and of course that you still can respond to my composition and story from 1973. That was when I looked back to try to find a way to help The Who to also look back 10 years to where our story as rock stars began. In 1973 we were lost, and Quadropheina helped us find our way. We all need to know where we come from. We all need to know where we're going. This ballet will help you with both those questions. Really quite nice. And also the director, this is about these sort of 4 themes. There's a paragraph here, a note from the director. I'll just read this bit. It says, Jimmy's journey takes place over the course of 1 week. As he tries to find his place in a chaotic and ever-changing world. He is accompanied by the 4 facets of his personality: the tough guy, the lunatic, the romantic, and the hypocrite, who challenge each other to lead Jimmy on his quest. We meet his mother and his father, 2 more, struggling to revive a stalled marriage, with father haunted by his experiences in World War II. His childhood friend, who we discover is a rocker, the godfather, a rock star who Jimmy idolises, the ace face who every mod wants to impress, and the mod girl who every mod, including Jimmy, wants to be with. Worlds collide, and how Jimmy deals with the highs and lows and which facet he allows to guide his way will determine whether his story ends in tragedy or triumph. So what did things I really enjoyed from this, as you heard with Jeff, the army scene, the prequel, it was almost like a prequel to the Quadrophenia, with the father's story coming into it and showing the background of the family life and the sort of post-war influences of The Who, which Pete and Roger have talked about. The music, there was a great sort of rendition, instrumental of My Generation. That was really good, and you could sort of hear Pete's sort of guitar overlays on that. I can't explain. That was really a good scene as well. And again, all the music where there was Pete's guitar, you could hear his overlays, and it was almost like he could have been sat on the edge of the stage. So that was really great. And with the music itself, a lot of the time I was singing the lyrics, and I found myself having, even at the first half, I was like beguiled, getting into it, and I started to have a smile on my face. And in the second half, I was really beaming, singing the lyrics along to the songs. The beach fight scene I thought was great. That was just great choreography. The train was brilliant. You've got back projection in a lot of it, floor projection, and there was a front projection as well. And then that scene sort of took off, literally. I won't give too much away, but the train scene really sort of sent it into another dimension. And that's obviously when he was taking the drugs. But I think with the other dimensions to it and the things they were trying to attempt, I think it allows you to sort of make up your own mind and read into it whatever you want to read into it. The acts as they're laid out, it does sort of invoke the Quadrophenia LP book, the booklet in the double LP, 1973. It did give a lot of notions and signs back to the film, but it also then created these other dimensions in dance. So the four themes were interesting because they were sort of interlocking and changing. So there was almost like 2 or 3 4 themes going on. And so you could read into it what you wanted depending on your level of knowledge or lack of knowledge. So my partner has not had the same exposure to it. She really loved it. And also there's a little bit of a surprise ending with the LP. You read into what happens to Jimmy, and it's this catharsis. But there was a kind of like surprise ending, which I thought was very good. With the Parker left, and then something happens, which is obviously. But it was very cathartic to go, and I found myself just beaming and smiling, and I think that's a really, really good sign. So I'll leave you now with my search for Pete to get my. I did actually take a bag with with one of my many Quadrophenias, and I also had what else did I have? So I even had a CD just to try and get something signed, but alas. Well, let's see what happened. Okay. And, so thank you very much, Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. I would encourage Who fans and theatre goers alike to go and see it. I struggle to say it was fantastic because I'm not an experienced theatre goer, but I did think it was pretty damn interesting, pretty damn good. Loads of effort had gone into it. So thank you very much, Pete. Thank you very much to Sadler's Wells and to Plymouth Theatre. Thanks a lot.
Then I'd go to the front of the house and see because he might be upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. More help. And
No, that's all right,
I'm
yeah.
glad you enjoyed it as well.
So we're outside, asked to meet Pete Townshend. What's the verdict?
Unfortunately, he has left the building.
Without seeing
so
me?
sorry.
Does he know who I am? So this was really last minute. And then I didn't know he would be here. I thought maybe he might be for the opening night, but that's very sweet of you to ask.